following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good.
Hi, Tom.
How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico and Haan and Paige Clarke.
Well, good morning. I'm Paige Clarke. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, and this is where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, and a wild world.
That's right, to recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms. And I'm Nico and Haan.
And it is a beautiful day here,
Yeah.
Sunny and 71 degrees.
Yeah.
It's going to be a nice time. We're still trying to be in the Christmas spirit, even though we're not really having Christmas-type weather, but we hope you're staying safe and warm and dry wherever you are. Make sure you subscribe to our Health Signals newsletter. I have a new one out this week. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and Happy Holidays.
Indeed.
And pick up some of our Primal Edge Daily Nutrition, 310 cell-ready nutrients that help you get the good stuff in.
And let the good stuff go out of your body. That's what we
no
like.
good stuff, but the bad stuff.
Oh, the bad
out.
stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, I feel like Friday already.
It is your Friday, right?
It is my Friday, kind of, in a sense, yeah.
And we're taking your phone calls.
Yeah, 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks.
So guess what?
What?
Yesterday, I had a consult with Dr. Jack Kruse.
Jack Kruse, cool. That's
And,
Jack Kruse with a K-R-U-S-E.
That's right. Dr. Jack Kruse is an absolutely fabulous, very intriguing, super intelligent, thoughtful neurosurgeon who has really helped us to understand what really is involved in our health. And I am so thrilled to be part of his a tribe he has where he's teaching a lot of us practitioners about the power of chronobiology and how important light and our environment is. And as he always says, you can't get well in the same environment that got you sick. And sometimes we have to really be willing to make changes. So I found it to be extremely valuable. He so over-delivers, and he's so personable.
Yeah.
And how busy must this guy be, still doing brain surgery and, back surgeries and all this kind of stuff. He's it's just amazing. And I felt totally unrushed, and we had a great conversation. I'm hoping I put it out to him if it works with his chronobiology that he might just come on our show in the new year.
So what is chronobiology?
Well, this is a site that reminds me a lot of how we need to start looking at some of these other factors in our environment that are at play. We talk so much about food, and hey, I love food, but let's face it, everyone's talking about food, and I've kind of gotten to sort of a little bit of a state that, look, I don't want to argue about food anymore. I mean,
Let's just eat it. That's all.
And you and I have pointed out that there's oftentimes a mismatch of eating the wrong foods that aren't in season. You and I have brought about that, but Jack drives that home.
Yeah.
You don't eat cucumbers, a fruit, in Canada when it's snowing. We don't eat bananas in Boston in the winter.
But we can eat the pickles because we fermented them and kept them in storage. So there are ways of going around it. But you're right.
Yeah.
What's fascinating about chronobiology to me, and the thing that's most blatant about it, is the light. And we've always started with the night being dark, set, and the sun setting makes it dark, and then the sun rising.
Exactly.
And that's the only light that was really here until we started playing around with fire, and fire gave us a little bit of more
Happy
comfort.
winter solstice, by the way.
Yeah, happy
Today's
winter
the
solstice.
shortest day of the year.
That's right. We start that 3-day of the sun not
Going
rising.
into the tomb.
That's right.
And then the sun will rise again.
That's right.
That's right.
On the third day. So getting back to this is what I see blatantly the big problem we have. We have so much artificial light. We have lights on all the time, and that's not the way nature intended us to be.
And it's playing extreme havoc on our mitochondria, the energy production part of our cells.
Yeah, and science is beginning to show this on many different ways, not only just light, but the types of light, because now we have LED, we have the soft light, the harsh light, we have the blue light, we have the amber light, and all of this thing is getting mixed up. Our street lights are, some of them are LEDs, some of them aren't, some are blue, some are, I mean, it's really confusing. And I think we as human beings want security, and that's kind of what light gives us. So no wonder we're lighting up the streets and everything like that. But I remember the days when I went up to see my buddy up in Michigan who lives on a farm, and there's no lights. He has no driveway, so I parked my truck near the street where his gate is, and we walked 2 miles to his place.
Wow.
In the dark.
Yeah.
And that first 100 yards is very, very dark, but slowly but surely your eyes starting to get used to it, and it's even very cool to be in complete darkness and yet see.
That's a really great point, and our eyes are designed to adjust to the changes in light, and they're not meant to be exposed to light 24/7.
Right.
This kind of bright light, into the night, this is what we're seeing is creating a lot of the disruption and the health issues we have. So let's just, I found this site, but really I'm going to dive a lot more, as I have before, into a lot of Jack's work. The thing with Jack stuff is sometimes it gets a little complicated and deep, might be hard to cover on this show, and except in little smaller bites. And
so this
we'll
bite is the science of time.
Yeah, this is from a website called Chronobiology, and they're talking about, most of us have very little knowledge about the human body's inner clock. I personally have been trained in this way of thinking, and that's really how I build my coaching practices about creating circadian rhythm balance, particularly in my hormone balancing approach I take with women using circadian biology to help balance your hormones versus a supplement or something.
And when we think of rhythms of time, we think of the tides going up and down. We think of the night and day. I think of women's menstrual period.
Yeah, the lunar cycles, but we literally have hourly. The organs and glands have different hours. Chinese medicine has known this for some time, that there's certain hours that are kind of different organ gland systems are focusing. But there's huge clues to the body based on light signals, and probably one of the most important things that you can do is be in touch with getting the light from our sun and using that to help your body know when to do what.
Yeah, here it says, since the beginning of mankind, human history has been shaped by light and darkness. Genetically manifested timers reside deep in our bodies that control this fundamental rhythm. The more intelligent we absorb this information, the more useful it is.
That's right.
The connection is important, and the prevention and treatment of diseases as well as the healing process.
That's absolutely true, and that's what really Jack Kruse has been saying. You cannot get well in the same environment that made you sick. Or doing the same things. And it's just so way beyond the food. And, we love talking about the food, but it's really important that we start looking at these signals from our environment. And the beginning of chronobiology actually dates back to the 18th century. And through experimentation, they were able to show that the leaves continue to swing in a circadian rhythm, even in permanent darkness. So we're going to continue to explore more about chronobiology and how you can implement this in your life.
Yeah, because there's 3 basic cycles of this, and we're going to go into that right after the break. So stick around, folks. The number here is 877-927-6648. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated folic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back to the show. So we're talking about time here, and the original concept of time is the different rhythms that we go through. And we made a few other examples, but there's three basic cycles of chronobiology. And the first one is called the infradian rhythms, referring to infra mean under and Ds means day. These are the rhythms that last more than 24 hours. They are repeated only every few days, weeks, or months, or even once a year. Good examples are the seasonal rhythms,
such as bird migration.
Yeah, the lunar rhythms, which is, of course, the moon and the tides. Then the semi-lunar rhythms, which is about 14 days associated with the tides being high and low. Mm-hmm. Another example is the unpredictable rhythms known as the non-circadian rhythms that do not have any environmental correspondence.
That's kind of like the women's menstrual cycle.
But we also know that women in a groups will sync.
Mm-hmm.
And in a large group, it seems to sync more with the bodies, with the Earth's, the Mother Earth.
Yeah, the Earth
rhythm.
And the moon cycle. There is a lunar connection. So the ultraradian rhythms, this is from the Latin word ultra, meaning over, and dies, meaning day. So over days. And these biological rhythms are shorter than 24 hours. And there are many physiological functions of the human body that exemplify the ultraradian rhythm. And these rhythms have multiple cycles in one day. In an adult, for example, an exertion and rest cycle of about every 2 hours would be a good example of this.
Yeah, ultradian rhythms regulate physical, emotional, and spiritual functions.
Interesting.
Yeah, they often last several hours and include the ingestion of food, the circulations of blood, the excretion of hormones, the different stages of sleep, and human performance curve.
Very cool. These processes are built into our bodies in a lot of different ways, folks, and some last merely seconds, such as breathing. Mm-hmm. And I imagine that would also have a lot to do with the differences in our breathing respiration rates. This could be involved too.
I have a new app that I've been using. It's called IQ Sleep. And
That's tied to your bed, right?
Yeah, it's actually not tied to it, but I don't know exactly how it works, but it does. The last night I had 86. I slept 22 minutes more than my goal of 7 hours and 30 minutes, and 7 hours and 18 minutes of that rest was very restful. So I had a good night's sleep. One thing I did notice, that my heartbeat seems to change over a period of 7 to 9 or 10 days. I usually have a resting heartbeat of about 55. Last night it was 59. The night before it was 61. But before that it was 55 and 53 on last Sunday, 62 on Saturday. So I seem to be resting at different stages, at different heartbeats. I'm not sure what that is tied to. I think it's very interesting. But I just started this. And
but how is that connected? Did you have to put something underneath your mattress? I mean,
well, there
has to be some type of connection to you.
I have a Sleep Number bed.
It's built in. It's
kind of built into the smart thing of it.
Very cool.
I don't know how accurate it is, but it's interesting to see the rhythms and to see when you're sleeping not so well. One night I woke up, I thought, man, I didn't sleep very good. I look at my app and it says you slept great. I felt a lot better. So I don't know if it's psychological or not, but it's an interesting thing to see the rhythms taking place. And I'm just going to keep track of this, and it's nice to see. So let's go on with this.
So, like I said, some of these ultraradian processes, some of them last merely seconds, such as the control of breathing, and some last only milliseconds, such as the majority of processes that take place in the cells on a microcirculatory level.
Yeah.
So tidal rhythms, which are about every 12 hours, are often observed in marine life, follow the transition of the tides from high to low and back, and have a specific function for many people living inside of a surf zone.
Yeah. Now, the next rhythm is the circadian rhythm, which I was much more familiar with than all these others. The rhythms that take place approximately 24 hours, the human sleep-wake cycle.
Circa meaning around, right. So we had the above, the below, and the going around.
Yeah. Many effects of the circadian rhythms directly and immediately affect humans, and therefore they're most extensively researched.
Yeah, exactly. So where are we today with chronobiology? Well, it's really a growing field. People are starting to pay attention, and then people are really implementing some great research, people like Dr. Jack Kruse. So the field of chronobiology is rapidly expanding around the world. Medical professionals, researchers, and the general population are beginning to see the benefits of using chronobiological principles in everything from even when they administer medications, to determine the most effective time of day to exercise. And it's being used in the study of genetics, endocrinology, hormone balance, ecology, sports medicine, and psychology, just to name a few.
Yeah, and I remember I was working for a company way back in the 80s, and my secretary was having trouble getting pregnant, and they were doing all kinds of this. I remember one time she had to rush home because it was her time to ovulate, and so they met and had a quickie during the day because that's what the rhythm said.
Well, the circadian rhythm, as Jack Kruse says, there can be a circadian mismatch where you're where the circadian rhythm has become unbalanced.
Yeah. Now, the reason I brought that up, because this was the same gal, and I think I mentioned on another show, that didn't get pregnant, but after they adopted a baby, finally, after about 5 years, they said, well, let's just adopt. Boom, she got pregnant. So
sometimes when the pressure comes off.
Yeah, exactly.
So
maybe she was looking at that rhythm a little too much stress there, and when you got time to relax, the natural rhythm took over and said, boy, here you go.
Yeah, stress is the biggest disruptor of all of this. So, this area is really growing, and the chronopharmacology branch of chronobiology has been especially lucrative. Well, I'm sure it is. Just anything that has the word pharmacology in it is going to be lucrative, and thousands of studies have yielded information on how the precise timing of a medication or supplement can decrease side effects, have a more potent effect, and even completely disrupt a physiological process. And, well, that could be good and bad. I'm going to say that,
Yeah.
And, but what we're seeing is many renowned institutions have added departments, labs, and whole teams and curriculums centered on chronobiology. And they're providing groundbreaking research into the importance of how these innate biological rhythms impact our health. For example, melatonin, which is referred to as the mother hormone of chronobiology, The effect of light on a variety of diseases and the phenomenon of chronotypes have been areas of particular interest. Speaking of melatonin, we all think of that as the sleep hormone.
Yeah.
But what Jack Kruse has taught me is that we generate our melatonin. And there's only one time when you do. Do you know when you make it?
No.
Looking at the sunrise. That's when you generate the melatonin. The programming to make melatonin for good sleep only occurs. So we're missing it because we're missing the sunset. See, sunrise.
I thought that was backwards because
Sunrise.
I always thought, okay, the sun goes down, that's when the melatonin kicks in, but it's actually the reverse.
Well, it's the fact that you actually manufacture it, or the signal is made to produce it.
I see. In the morning,
right.
when the sun rises.
It's
but
that
the signal
programming.
to use it comes.
The actual melatonin is a nighttime secretion,
Right.
But the actual
Well, and that
creation
kind of
it.
makes sense because you can't make it at the same time you're secreting it, apparently.
And I have to tell you, I just got back from just to digress from the article for a second, but I went to the doctor recently because I was like, my vitamin D level, which has always never been an issue for me. After all, we're Northern European. We make vitamin D rather easily when we actually take the time to get in the sun. And I had noticed mine slipping, so I started. I did what Jack said, and I got out in the sun. I went to the doctor, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, stop taking your vitamin D." I said, "I don't take vitamin D. I get in the sun." It was 120.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So,
pretty
and
cool.
that's not to be worried if you're doing it by the sun. So, anyways, we're going to continue talking about the power of time in your health. So, stay
right.
with us.
We'll be right back.
Would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back. And so while chronobiology is still considered a young science, the possibilities it presents are endless, and our methods of research are becoming more advanced, and that will bring the reality that chronobiology will probably eventually become the leading scientific discipline. I like that.
That's pretty interesting.
To me, this is saying those people that are studying how the environment and our time and the times affect us may be just as important as some of the minute details of what we're ingesting.
Yeah, external and internal clocks control our physical, mental, and emotional functions without the need for us to interfere. The more intelligently we attune our life to these rhythms, the greater the benefit.
That's like Dr. Jack Kruse says, you can't get well in the environment that made you sick.
Right, and that makes sense, and that's why people get sick in hospitals.
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
Whether it's the oral mucosa, which is the mucus, I guess, or
well,
the liver.
mucosa is the lining of your throat, your organs, whatever.
Okay. And the liver, each physiological system seems to have its own biological rhythm. And this knowledge is of particular importance for disease and healing.
Yeah, for example, ailments such as asthma, arthritis, hypertension, depression, heart attacks, stomach ulcers, et cetera, these situations all have their own phases, and the chronobiological factors of the active ingredients that are used in disease prevention or treatment is of crucial importance. What is the active ingredients? It can very well be the use of light, the use of frequency, the use of change in the environment.
Yeah, there's a lot in the news now about frequency and about the interference that cell phones are doing to our brains. The Wi-Fi, the same thing. Magnetism, the same thing. So we're really getting deep into studying these things, and of course there's going to be two camps. One, the people who are trying to sell you these devices are not going to be too keen on telling you if there's bad effects to it, and the people who are digging into this are finding that we do have a lot of different there was an article I was reading just yesterday about the interference with your cell phones, and they were suggesting that using earbuds might be better, or using it as a talk. But earbuds are using that same frequency, so I don't think the earbuds are maybe the thing to go to. Going to texting is certainly one of the better things. But then a lot of people put these cell phones in their pocket, near to the organs.
I'm going to tell you, I wish I could. I actually recorded my conversation with Jack. He says that Tampa Bay is one of the absolute most unsafe places to live. We have tremendous EMF exposure, almost worse than Miami or anything, because of the sonar radar with the Marine off of the Gulf. We also have MacDill Air Force. Yeah. He says you just don't know, there's all kinds of stuff going on.
And then we have the nuclear plant about 100 miles north of us.
We have the nuclear plant, and we've got congested stuff. So again, these can be, quite disturbing when we realize the impact that all of these electromagnetic frequencies are having on our exposure. So the most important conclusion, Nico, that we want to draw from a chronobiological viewpoint is that we possess a whole control package of genetically determined internal time regulators. And most importantly, our bodies follow an internal 24-hour cycle.
Yeah, and our hormones are released depending on the impulses of these internal clocks, and that makes a lot of sense.
Well, this is what I've been building my female rejuvenation programs on, is on the chronobiology of these pulses.
Yeah, and no wonder that, people are having problems, especially females with, much more seem like complicated stuff within you guys because you're making the babies.
Well, actually, the truth is I've got another article in here. It's affecting the males big time. They may have sperm, but the sperm aren't moving.
Yeah.
They're not modal. Yeah, so this is a very scary thing. Hormone release ultimately depends on the impulse of our inner clocks, and under the control of our brain, 150 messenger substances circulate in the blood to inform our organs about the current situation, and they prescribe specific consequences. If this, then that, right?
Yeah, these hormones have a boosting and curbing effect. Our body temperature decreases during sleep. Our blood pressure rises when we wake up, and so forth. These rhythms repeat every 24 hours, day after day.
Night after night.
Yeah. And scientists therefore speak of the circadian rhythm. The short up and down cycle is measured in brain waves that last only fractions of milliseconds. The longest daily rhythms, such as hunger or need for sleep, extend over many hours.
So every moment, chronobiology transfers the actions inside of our organs into a unique and distinctive spectacle. So an hour later, nothing remains as it was an hour ago. It seems that with age, some of our inner clocks are ticking more slowly, while others are ticking faster, and they tend to go out of tune. It's easier as we get older to get in touch with these chronobiological signals. And some of them stop ticking altogether over the years.
Yeah, our organs begin to develop their own rhythm, and disturbances occur. If they remain untreated, then that's how disease develops. So this is really another way of looking at disease in a completely different way, but probably more closely, I'm thinking, than our ancestors did it. Because our ancestors really paid attention to the seasons. They paid attention to all kinds of different rhythms. They used
day and light signals.
Not only that, but the sound frequencies, the smoke that they used, the drumming that they used, the different types of dances that they did. They all used this for the betterment of their tribe. Even just the silly little games that they played weren't really silly. They were the games instead of war. You know, our indigenous ancestors knew that war was too heavy a toll, something that it seems our modern leaders don't know, or maybe they know about it and they're using that against us. But I think that the natural way of settling disputes, if you can't get to an answer, you play a game, you roll the dice. That's the way we've always done it. And I think it's a better system because when you accept that, you leave it alone. You say, oh yeah, I lost, go on to the next game. Kind of like the way we play sports. We put a lot of importance on winning, but we realize deep down playing the game is much more important. So there has to be the game. The game has to go on. With war, that's a different type of game that stops you.
That's absolutely true, Nico. And I want to acknowledge a comment that's being made by Z in the chat room. You know, beware of 5G.
Yeah.
Recall that in 1989, studies came out that linked the cell radiation to cancer. Quickly, those studies disappeared. Folks, all of this technological soup that we're in is not benefiting our health. It really isn't. I mean, even I'm just going to say, how techie are you that you're monitoring your sleep, but could, in fact, that monitorization of your sleep actually be negative?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like the baby monitor. You think you're monitoring your baby while they're sleeping, when in fact you're enveloping them in an EMF wave that's detrimental to their health.
Well, also remember that our indigenous people will never leave babies alone. You know, it's with the mother. And if the mother's not there, it's with the father. It's never with a stranger. And usually the sleeping period and everything is with the parents right there next to each other. So we've really...
Yeah, the best monitors is the mother just breathing right
and the
with the baby's face right here.
I mean, I was watching one of the shows with the veterinarians. And, you know, a little dog was born, and right away it couldn't see closing its eyes, but it's going towards the warmth, going for the nipple. Instinctively it knows. You take that baby out of there, and now it's still searching, but it doesn't have it.
Right,
There's
it's in
no
a separate
connection.
room. There's no reason at all. I mean, you know, I'm so proud of my daughter. I mean, she's co-slept with her baby. She still co-sleeps with them. She's breathing their air. They're breathing out. She's breathing in. I just think it's natural. But this is interesting. I see sort of a position with this site. They obviously are involved in the chronopharmacology or supplements. It's a good thing, but I'm going to bring it back to Dr. Jack Kruse. It's the environment and using these signals naturally.
We'll be right back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
So welcome back. So let's dig a little deeper. The light-darkness factor continuously adjusts our everyday functions to a 24-hour rhythm. Inside our body, this information is converted into a signaling hormone called melatonin, which we discussed. Melatonin already completes a multitude of tasks by daylight. Around 11 p.m., there's usually a sudden surge in melatonin levels to between 8 and 10 times the normal value. This is the signal for many organs to slow down their activities and regenerate themselves. So you can see how this works. Like you said, you see the sunlight, and the melatonin gets in your body. It starts to manufacture it by 11 p.m. or whenever you go to bed. All of a sudden, this whole hormone that's already in your body is circulated.
Activated, but that's what Jack has taught. It is that looking at the sun in the early morning. So the best thing it says here, the elderly people, many elderly people, however, have largely lost this nocturnal melatonin surge. Well, what they should do is, since they don't sleep well and they get up early, they should go sit outside in the sun. So I tell my clients, I want your feet on the ground and I want you looking east.
Yeah.
Like Jack says, like the Sphinx.
How people can get trapped into doing the complete opposite. When you're not feeling well, you're getting older, now you're retired, you don't have a job to go to, so you lay around more. You lay in bed, you get up a little bit later than you normally would because you don't have to go to work. You feel like you deserve that, and now you can lay around, you turn on the boob tube, and the kind of light you're getting is not the kind of light we're talking about here. It's a whole different thing. So you can really get trapped as you get older. Same thing with the food. Remember, we talk about the food being diminished. We don't have as much taste buds, so we try to get this bland food. Seems like, you know, the crackers with the... Yeah.
So this goes on and says, you know, many rhythms, sleep, blood pressure, et cetera, are all controlled by this chronobiological support. And you know, it says researchers are beginning to understand the hour at which tumor cells tend to divide, and time regulators that differ from those of healthy cells control tumors. Therefore, it is of vital importance that therapeutic cytotoxins be introduced into the target organ at a time when their impact on tumor growth is higher and when their effect is less detrimental. I can understand there's certain times that you're going to be more receptive to certain things. So again, I see this site, I see where it's going. Their chronopharmacology, the search for therapeutic measures that are in harmony with our inner clocks, is currently the most fascinating. So there's a sales agenda here. But the science behind it is excellent. What we would say is that it's beyond the pharmacological things. Even the using herbs and plants as medicine, homeopathy has been used. I've been studying this chronobiology through homeopathic approach of using homeopathy to signal. And I have to I've kind of got a little floored while we were on the break. I want to get back to this article when we, how the FDA is making an announcement that they're going after homeopathy to save people from this unsafe medicine. That's the biggest lie. I mean, the FDA is such a crooked organization.
I can see the future of medicine may be that we're going to be scheduling your operation or your treatments according to your own rhythms and not because the doctor's free at that time.
Right, and you should schedule surgeries with being aware of the moon, waxing and waning, and how we heal better.
See, in a capitalistic system, that's going to be hard to get because the money is the first aspect that we say. The health is going to be the secondary aspect. That's
if you become a socialist side of being run by the mill where you just follow their little rules. I don't want to say it's a capitalistic or socialistic thing. I think the whole key is we have to be responsible for our health, and we can say, hey, sorry, this is when I want my surgery. Or this is what I'm going to do. We have to become knowledgeable about these natural things, as you know, Nico. That's what we've been saying.
We're really talking about the same thing in a sense. But I think that in our system, the money is the first criteria that you go to, not the health.
Unfortunately, I think you're right. I mean, I think in a lot of ways this is the case. But getting back to the timing of things, let's talk about amino acids, Nico.
Well,
each of our cell produces them.
Yeah. And once the desired concentration is reached, production stops. So our body's intelligent and knows exactly what to do unless it's interfered with.
Right, so enzymes are the power to do work, and they break things down, and certain genes, also referred to as clock genes, there it is again, act as on-off switches for these processes.
Yeah, and they can be found in nearly any type of human tissue, and their impact is incredibly multifaceted, sophisticated, and smart. So while we're looking at these things taking place, there may be other things that are taking place that we don't even know about yet. So we really have to be careful in interfering with these types of rhythms, and it seems like our society is bent on interfering in every single situation, whether it's the light or the news, the information we get, whatever it is, the way we walk, the way we transport ourselves, it's all out of whack from the different rhythms that nature gives us.
So we have these clock genes that really control processes in our bodies. And, so this also applies to the effects of vitamins, foods, nutrition, trace elements. I'm going to say farther, exposure to light, to heat, to cold, etc. And the main switch is located in our brain in the diencephalon. It's a central part of the brain composed of two structures, and the diencephalon receives messages from special photo. Note the word photo meaning light.
Yeah,
from
in the retina,
from photocells. And and these are located in the retina, and they have been decoded only recently. They do not recognize objects or colors, but they do recognize the time of the day and the ambient atmosphere and the seasons. Guys, this is exactly what Jack Kruse has been teaching us, that we have to get out. And if you want to have good melatonin surge at night, and you want to retrain your body, you've got to get the light signal in the morning. And that's gazing at the early morning sun. That has that retinal program. It's the programming, and that says, this is daylight, and in 12 hours it's going to be dark, and I'm going to do these things.
Yeah, they say the starting point, which is the sunrise, is what sets the whole thing in motion. So if you miss that sunrise, your body is already out of whack.
The worst thing we can be doing is sitting right here.
Thanks a lot, folks.
Here we are.
It's our last show.
We're missing our sunrise. We're in a room filled with artificial EMFs. And when we should be getting a warm-hued, full-spectrum sunlight.
We should be
to
on
do
the
our,
roof.
Should do our
Where we should.
programming. We've got all these lights and everything. So
It would be nice to be outside, though, wouldn't it? Except when it's raining, of course, but it'd be nice to have...
why not? We live in Florida. I don't know why we don't do that, you know?
Well.
So light is a powerful pulse generator. Exactly, guys. And so whether a person survives a heart attack may depend on the sun's rays that shine through the window of that intensive care unit. Is that amazing?
Yeah.
And beds in the northern wing of a hospital are mysteriously associated with a higher mortality rate. I can just see you saying, I'm going to be checking into this hospital. I want to make sure that I have my surgery on a waxing moon, and I want to be on the south side of the building, or with plenty of sunshine and a nice window.
And my doctor has to be a Scorpio.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
So this is the future, I guess. Well, it's an interesting article. I'm going to be diving in a little bit more of this because this really interests me. It seems like our natural rhythms are out of whack just from the way we live.
Yeah, we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about the practice of chronobiology. I think we've been sharing it. Many of us are using chronobiology to help ourselves and our people
Well,
that
we see it
love
with the
get better.
devices.
Yeah.
Yeah, all these devices are tapping into some of these things, so maybe they're helpful after all. We'll be
All
right
right,
back.
be right back.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors.
We are talking today about the power of using chronobiology, time and biology to stay healthy. And we know that our body uses time signals, light signals, seasonal signals to help balance itself all through the day. So even people with a healthy diet may experience nutritional deficiencies, especially so when they're exposed to everyday stress, environmental toxins, or metabolic disorders. And scientific research has provided us with accurate information on which nutrients the body needs, when, and what dosage. And it provides to provide optimal support for food digestibility, for example, you know?
Yeah, it also can help us then identify different phases of deviation from the norm. Recognizing time-dependent characteristics can be of great importance in diagnosing and treating illnesses. So I think some of the future that we'll see, they have a thing called chronopharmacology, is a branch of the chronobiology that studies your internal clock in relationship to the effects of drug therapy. So they ask such questions: which substance works best in the morning, which one works best in the evening, which substance can be taken together so you don't create a problem. So this can be applied to certainly some drugs, but also can be applied to natural things that
I know what Jack would say. What would Jack say? Jack would say, you know, this, because he does believe that a lot of us in the functional health standpoint are relying too much on drugs or supplements or food. We're not paying enough attention to this chronobiology. So I think this site is definitely bringing that concern about environment and light and exposure. That's good. But I also see, I'm sure there's probably some ads and it links to some products. So
well, there's not all products are bad, and not all medicines are bad.
Here you go. Here's what they say. This is kind of, they're going, I found them, and I'm kind of, you know, looking at this with the benefit of the doubt. They go, most people regard vitamins as the givers of good health, the end-all, be-all. The food's the end-all, be-all. Oh, you're going to be healthy if you do this, and you're not if you do that. And they, you know, take their vitamins and swallow them at any time, thinking they can do no wrong. And that's far from it. The stringent rules of chronobiology also apply when you seek to remedy vitamin or mineral deficiency. You know, if you're going to take supplements or use nutritional products, remember, you're educating your body. Your body is getting a piece of information. Everything is information.
Nice way to look at it, yeah.
And so you got to look at the clock first, and the time point is crucial. And some things are good to have in the morning. It's like you don't take ashwagandha or some of these energizers, you know, right before you're going to bed. That's not going to be a great thing, you know. So first of all, the effects of some of these nutritional things in the morning simply differs from their effects in the evening. We need to be wise of our time first. We're learning that from leaders such as Dr. Kruse and his movement. But secondly, their effect on the metabolism may diminish the 24-hour rhythm of our body's organs. They may actually, in effect, interfere with our chronobiology. And so really, we want to start really being aware of how time and nature and the light signals from nature can really reprogram this clock.
And we're getting this information from chronobiology.com, so you can go there and check that out. It's a very interesting site, and you can dig deeper into this. It's something that we're kind of aware of, but I think kind of masked over with today's modern kind of living with all our electronics and all this artificial, not only light, but medicines and everything else. It's a good thing to keep in mind that we do have these natural rhythms, and I think they're more important than modern society places on us. It's something that we need to dig deep into, and I think the more you get attuned to your natural rhythms, the better off you're going to be in all facets of life.
Yeah, so I think that we'll be sharing more of this information. I think it's kind of a parallel to what I've been studying with Dr. Jack Kruse and the Optimal Living group about really incorporating the true physician, which is nature.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a good thing.
So our next show will be Tuesday after Christmas. We're going to do kind of a, what I like to do at the end of the year is kind of explain to the folks how we got together, how this program started, what's the goal of our program, and what we want to accomplish over the next year. So stick around for that next Tuesday.
Have a Merry Christmas.
Yeah,
Happy
have a great
holidays.
Christmas. Happy holiday, and pay attention to the seasons.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. sequence. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.